All right, let's dive right into this explainer with a pretty important question. Is that outlet you rely on every single day secretly warning you of an impending disaster? I mean, we plug things in constantly, right? Our phones, laptops, appliances, but we rarely give those little wall sockets a second thought. Well, at least until something goes terribly wrong. So today, we're unpacking some seriously eye-opening source material about the 5 major signs your electrical outlet needs replacement before it's too late.
It is incredibly easy to overlook a plug that's just a little bit loose or maybe a tiny little spark. But ignoring these subtle warning signs hidden right inside your walls, that can have massive consequences. We're talking about frying your expensive electronics or much worse, starting an electrical fire. Your home's electrical system actually has ways of crying out for help. And today, we're going to learn exactly how to translate those warnings.
Here is our agenda for today. 1. Visible cracks and loose plugs. 2. Burn marks and overheating. 3. Sparks and tripped breakers. And 4. Securing your home's safety. Let's jump right into section 1. Visible cracks and loose plugs, the external warnings. So, sign number 1 is physical damage. We're talking about a cracked faceplate, broken plastic, or worst case, exposed internal components. If you see this, you need to replace it immediately. That plastic isn't just there to look pretty, it's a critical safety barrier. When it breaks, your risk of an accidental electric shock goes way up. Plus, you're leaving those internal wires totally vulnerable to dust and moisture, which is basically a recipe for severe short circuits. Moving to sign number 2, loose connections. We've all done this, right? You plug in a heavy charger and it just instantly sags or falls right out of the wall. If a plug slides out that easily, it means the internal metal contacts have just worn out over time. All that tension holding the prongs is completely gone, turning what used to be a safe, snug outlet into a hidden hazard. And honestly, that lack of tension is exactly where the trouble starts. Because look, a loose connection isn't just an annoyance. Loose connections create resistance, generate heat, and increase the chance of electrical arcing. It's a dangerous chain reaction. The electricity has to work a lot harder to bridge that loose gap, which causes electrical resistance, which then inevitably generates heat.
And that hidden heat brings us to section 2, burn marks and overheating, the hidden heat.
Sign number 3, burn marks. If you ever spot brown burn marks, dark discoloration around those plastic slots, or, and this is a big one, catch a faint burning smell that you can't quite pinpoint, pay attention. The internal wires are actually baking the plastic from the inside out. This happens because of those loose connections we literally just talked about, or maybe because the circuit is dangerously overloaded.
I want to be super clear here. This is an active fire hazard. Stop using the outlet immediately. The absolute second you notice scorch marks or smell that distinct burning odor, pull the plug. Do not plug anything else into it, not even a tiny phone charger.
Which ties perfectly into sign number 4, overheating. An outlet should never feel hot during normal use. Ever. Sure, a charging brick might get warm, but the actual wall plate should always stay cool to the touch. If you feel heat radiating from the wall itself, you need to turn off the power at the breaker box for that room immediately and get it inspected right away. That escalation leads us right into section 3, sparks and tripped breakers, the electrical climax. To understand this, we need to talk about electrical arcing. This is a really dangerous phenomenon where electricity jumps across worn-out internal metal contacts or loose connections, generating intense heat and sparking. Basically, when parts wear out, they leave a microscopic gap. Electricity desperately wants to complete its circuit, so it literally jumps across that open space. It generates heat so intense it can melt metal or even ignite the wood inside your walls. And that brings us to sign number 5, sparking. Now, context is everything here. A small, brief spark can actually be normal, like when you plug in a heavy-duty appliance that instantly draws a lot of power. But large, repeated sparks, that is a serious electrical problem. Unless you're purposely trying to host a microscopic fireworks show inside your drywall, large flashes are a massive red flag. These are your critical electrical warning signs: large sparks, repeated sparking, and a breaker that trips instantly. If your outlet is constantly popping the breaker the very moment you push a plug in, your home's safety mechanisms are literally cutting the power to save you from a disaster. It is a critical problem that should never, under any circumstances, be ignored or bypassed. So, what do we do about all this? Let's move to section 4, securing your home's safety, taking action. If you run into any of these 5 warning signs, you need to follow these exact steps. Step 1, turn off the power at the breaker. Never go messing around with a live, faulty outlet. Step 2, do not ignore the warning signs. Don't just tape over it or move your plug to another socket. And step 3, replace the outlet or call a licensed electrician. Getting a pro to fix it instantly upgrades your home's safety.
Because at the end of the day, a small repair today can prevent a much bigger problem tomorrow. Changing out a bad receptacle is a pretty cheap fix, right? But waiting until that faulty outlet arcs and starts a fire, that is a total catastrophe. It's all about being proactive with those minor fixes to prevent a major disaster.
So, armed with this new knowledge about what is actually happening right behind your walls, I want you to take a moment today. Walk around your house. Look at the outlets you use the most. Give a plug a little wiggle, check for any weird discoloration. The big question is, which outlet in your home will you check first? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember, stay safe out there.